Yeah. Okay, so good morning, everyone. Welcome to our today's webinar, Opportunities with EIT Manufacturing, Support for Industry, Innovation, and ESG, and much more. My name is Anna Čaplovičová. I am the Managing Director of INOVATO Cluster. And as we announced, this webinar will be fully in English. However, if you have some questions, you can post it in chat and we can translate them afterwards. We are recording this session and it will be published on our YouTube channel. I am happy to welcome here our colleagues from EIT Manufacturing East, who will present us the offers for corporation, SME, startups, research institution, and the possibilities how to cooperate with this institution. So EIT Manufacturing is one of 9 knowledge and innovation communities established by the European Institute of Innovation and Technology. It connects a growing network of industrial partners, academic and research institutions, and innovative business across Europe to help drive innovation in manufacturing, foster talent, and bring groundbreaking solutions to market. At the beginning, a little bit about our agenda. So we will be covering topics like introduction to EIT manufacturing and collaboration opportunities, then calls for proposals in 2024 and 25, I guess. Then open innovation services and how they can help you with your business and accelerate your ideas. Then business intelligence tools and analysis, ESG topic, research and development study trips, which is EIT organizing. So I will briefly introduce our speakers and then I will forward the word directly to you, I guess. So first of all, Lubica Šebeňová. Lubka is a manager for Slovakia and government relation at EIT Manufacturing East. Lubica oversees EIT manufacturing activities in Slovakia and supports digital transformations through the Slovakia X Fund. She will discuss with you opportunities for Slovak innovators and the broader regional impact of EIT manufacturing incentives. Our second speaker is Gerhard Rus, Development and Innovation Manager at EIT. Gerhard is an expert in business development and innovation and leads activities in supporting corporation, SMEs, startups, and research institutions, and he will provide insights into the open calls for proposals and new services open innovation assessment. Next, we have here Ryan Ehike, Business Intelligence Analyst at EIT. Ryan specializes in analyzing industry trends, providing insights to support strategic decisions, and he will highlight how you can leverage your business intelligence tool to stay ahead in the market. And finally, we have David Kamesh, Innovation Lead at EIT Manufacturing East, and David focuses on sustainable innovations, open innovation model in manufacturing, and today he will share the knowledge and benefits from the Czech innovation ecosystem as a part of the European network. So I would forward directly the word to Lubica. We can proceed as follows, that we can have the presentation, and if there will be the questions, you can type it into the chat, or afterwards we can have some time that you can reply to the question. And at the end, after all presentations, we can have the discussion, if you all agree. Thank you.
It sounds
so Lubica,
good.
please.
Thank you very much, Anka, for organizing and for providing this opportunity to present EIT Manufacturing and what we do and what we can offer for Slovak companies and stakeholders. I will try to share my screen so I can show the presentation. Can you please tell me if you can see that?
Yes, we see it.
Okay, So thank you very much again. In my presentation, I would focus on briefly introducing EIT Manufacturing, who we are and what we do. And also I will focus a little bit more on activities that we currently have prepared or are preparing in Slovakia. So EIT Manufacturing is the innovation network for manufacturing in Europe, which was established in 2020 as one of the 9 knowledge and innovation communities. So we started with EIT Climate and then continued with digital, food, raw materials, and ended up with EIT Culture that is based in Košice. So EIT Manufacturing is a public-private partnership funded by its members and partner network and established and co-funded by the European Institute of Innovation and Technology, which is a European institution headquartered in Budapest and falls under the 3rd pillar of the Horizon Europe program. We try to connect and integrate the areas of education, innovation, and business creation. So our organization brings together more than 170 industry leaders from business, academia, and research from more than 20 countries, facilitating connections with international companies, startups, research organizations, and academic institutions. Our partners include, for example, automotive companies such as Volvo and Volkswagen, and manufacturing industry players like voestalpine or Magna. In addition to our partnership network, our European community has well-established offices through Europe. Our headquarters is in Paris, and we have 6 impact centers or regional offices in Gothenburg, Darmstadt, San Sebastian, Vienna, Milan, and Athens, and all of us are based in Vienna. And from Vienna, we cover the region of Central and Eastern Europe, so Austria, Slovakia, Czech Republic, Hungary, Serbia, Croatia, and that's it, I think. Furthermore, in countries with average or below average innovation performance according to the European Innovation Scoreboard, we have also independent network of partner organizations, so-called hubs, that are supporting us in activities specific to these countries. And in Slovakia, our partner is the Slovak University of Technology. We conduct activities in 4 key areas. So the first one is broadening network and collaboration through activities such as learning expeditions or study visit that I will talk a little bit in more detail later on. The second main area is boosting viable innovation through various innovation projects and funding opportunities that will be covered by Gerhard. The third area are various educational programs that support expanding skills and competencies. And the fourth large area that we focus on is accelerating sustainable growth through providing access to different funding programs. I will now introduce a little bit the activity that we have in Slovakia, and it's a joint initiative with the Ministry of Investment, Regional Development and Informatization of the Slovak Republic, and it's called EIT Manufacturing Slovakia X Fund. The main focus and objective is supporting the improvement of the digital transformation processes in the country and connecting Slovak companies, universities, and other institutions with a broader European network. The implementation period of this project is between January 2024 and December 2025, so we are already in full swing, and we have conducted several activities, and we have some also in the pipeline. Each party, so us as EIT Manufacturing and the Ministry, contributed 50% of the financial resources to the fund, and we hope that next year we will be also able to involve additional stakeholders into this fund. but we will see how it goes. So as of now, the project consists of 7 activities, and as I mentioned, some of them were already conducted, such as the Industry App Startup competition that was held in October this year in Žilina in the Kia Education Center. And we are also preparing, and I will briefly mention the activity called Business Safari, which is a study visit or learning expedition for SMEs in the area of digital transformation. Then we are also preparing a call called EVOR, so Evolution of Risk Innovation, and the Slovak edition, which will be most likely open in January, and we will be very happy to share the information about the call once it's published to Anka so that she can distribute it further to you. Then we are also providing research mobilities for Slovak students or students in Slovak universities. And finally, we'll basically wrap up with all the activities at the final conference. So as I mentioned, there are 2 activities from the fund currently in the pipeline, the EVOR, call for proposals, and the study visit for SMEs. The planned date for this study visit is May 2025, and the focus is mainly on understanding the challenges and benefits of adopting digital transformation strategies in practice. It will be a 3-day study visit in Austria, and we, again, once the agenda is finalized, will publish this information online, and we'll be very happy to see you at this visit. Another activity that we have in pipeline for Slovak companies specifically is an R&D study trip that will take place in February this year. The main focus, again, is to get inspiration from established research and development centers in the area of manufacturing in Austria. We are currently finalizing the agenda, and this information about this study trip will be available on the call. The first study visit is fully covered by the EIT Manufacturing Slovakia X Fund, and this study trip will be available for those who are willing to pay for this trip, and you can also get this covered through the European Digital Innovation Hub Expandi. I think that's all from me, so thank you very much, and if you have any questions, I will be happy to answer. Finish to share my screen. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. Are there any questions? Somebody? If not, then I would please Gerhard.
Okay, then I will share my screen. So you should see it, right?
Yes, it's fine.
Okay. Good. So I guess you also see my pointer. So I will give an overview on all the call activities we have in EIT Manufacturing, and you will see there's quite a number of it. So just some words up front. So in general, what we are doing is we help organizations, whatever organizations these are, this might be universities, startups, large corporates, whatever, we help them to be successful on the market. So in most of our activities, we require that they have already a prototype, kind of a solution, and then we help them really to be successful, to make money with that. So this is our main goal behind all our activities. So I did here an overview on the call opportunities we have for the next years. I cut out already everything what was now. It's quite a number. Don't try to remember everything. You don't need to take notes. I will share these slides then afterwards, so you have then all the information. I made here on the left side also an indicator for whom a certain call might be of interest. So if it is rather for universities or for startups or SMEs or large corporates. The green bars also always means that this is the time frame when you have to bring in a proposal. If that was then accepted and you get funded, then this is the gray bar here is the time frame when you will do the projects. So I will now run through them. The first one is called Innovate Together. That is of interest for you if your organization was already part in a Factory of the Future project. So in a Horizon project, which has to be closed already. So if you had one of these projects, which ended already, and you had there, I don't know, whatever solution, and you would like to bring that solution now to the market, then this call is the right one for you. Unfortunately, the timeline, the closing is already on the 6th of December, so this one might be too late, but if you are interested in, up there you see the link. This is the link to the web page of it. You can just check it out, what it means exactly, what are the detailed requirements. There will for sure be another call next year. So it will be most likely at the same time frame. So again, somewhere here in Q3, Q4, 25, they will open the call for the Innovate Together projects. I have here always the basic information. All the details and really the guidelines you will always find in this link in there. The next one, it's called Indusag. It is also open, but only partially. So this was actually in two parts. One was for companies where they could bring in challenges. And the part which is still open is that they are now looking for students solving these challenges. So this is just for researchers and students, and they get a funding of 3K for a project.
Go.
Question? Oh. I don't see the screen with the participants, so I just see my presentation. So if there is anything, somebody has to tell me. The next one is the Transform call. Here it is about organizations who have a technology, a new one, even below technology readiness level 6, so below having a prototype, and they want to test it in a real environment. There is not a certain date for bringing in a proposal. The call is still open, 25, 26, and there are several dates when they just accept proposals. So whenever you think, okay, this might be something for me, then you can just bring in your proposal, and at one of these dates, it might be accepted. The budget, the funding for a project here is 20,000 euro. The next two, the venture builder, and also the next one, which is called Accelerate, they are focusing on startups who are looking for investors. So they really, here it is really for an investment into the startup. The venture builder itself, it is not funded. It supports the participants with knowledge to prepare them first to reach technology readiness level 6 and to prepare them for the market. For all business related activities, they will get the training in there. And they prepare the participants then to join the Accelerate program, where they might receive an investment up to 500,000 euro. So here there is one running. I don't know exactly now when is the end date of that, but the next one is around mid of 25, where a startup again can apply for this investment. So the activities I showed up to now, they are the ones where the guidelines are all published. So these are all running activities. From now on, I can only rely on what was in the former call, and the current guidelines are not yet published. So this is the call for proposals. This is actually our main call. The last one is closed already. The projects will now start begin 25. And the next time to bring in a proposal, this will be somewhere in, I guess, in April 25, and the call will be open until what I read, something with August. Normally it is June, July, something in that time frame. The innovation call, it is our biggest call. The minimum participants per project is 6 partners. The project will then run 1 or 2 years. This is then up to your topic. The funding per project will be around 1.5 million. So what you see here is the information from the last call. The last call was a little bit smaller. So here the funding was 1 million per project. In the next one, it will be 1.5 million euro. The funding itself, it is 70%. So 70% comes from us. This is this 1.5 million. And 30% has to come from the participants as an in-kind. This means money, facilities, working time, whatever comes from the partners. We covered there the topics innovation. There will be a section for education topics and also certain risk activities. So for the countries with a moderate innovation capability, they get a special funding. They will cover the same topics, but there is an additional budget for them. Just checking if I missed anything. What is very important here is that the projects that they have to generate revenues. So this call is the right one for you if you have a solution and you want to make it, I don't know, better or faster, or change it in a certain way to make additional or new revenues with it, because after the project, there is also a KPI requested where you have to prove that you made revenues out of this solution. So this is a very important point in here. Then we have a call that is called Empowering SMEs. The last one just closed, I guess, 2 weeks ago or something like that. The next one will be open somewhere in the second quarter of 25. Here it is about it is for SMEs, or can also be a startup, where they have a solution which was already sold on the market. But they want now to reach a new segment, a new market, to expand their current customers. And they can then apply for a project. In the past one, it was 60K for the SME. And if they went into the project also with an end user, this end user got 40K. Again, in the next call, it will be a little bit higher. I saw something with 150K for a project. And the duration of the project then will be 12 months. It will be a lump sum. Yeah. This is everything for that one. The next 2 which I will show here, the first one here is the proof of concepts. These are completely new ones. So everything until now we had already in EIT Manufacturing. So we know already all our procedures. We know basically the guidelines. Some of the figures change from year to year, but in general we know it. The next 2 ones, they are completely new for us. So we never did them before. So the information about them is a little bit thin, and there is also no web page I can refer to. So the first one is called the proof for concepts. If there is an technology provider who has a solution and who wants to integrate it in a facility, in a factory of an end user, in a testing facility, and really to bring it to a prototype state, then there is a funding of 100K for that. The project duration is 6 months, and the current time plan looks like that somewhere in the first half of 25, this call will open and the project then will start somewhere in beginning of Q4 in 2025. It is a bit similar to what I showed before with this transform call, just that there is not a certain date when you can bring in a proposal, and the funding there is 20K. So in this case, there is a fixed timeline and it is up to 100K. And the last one here is the startup creation call. This is for universities who have somewhere a solution or a patent lying around and they would like to make out of that a business. So we support them in creating a startup. They will have the possibility to receive a funding of 60K for that, and they will have then 7 months for the creation of the startup. And according to the current time plan, they want to open the call this year. I'm not sure if we can hold that. I guess it will start somewhere here in 25. The call will be opened. So as you saw, there is quite a number of call activities we have. And actually, this is just a small part because we have also other activities and opportunities, which makes it sometimes a little bit hard for our partners to find the right way through our jungle of opportunities and to find the right activity. So what we did for that is we created something in addition, an open innovation assessment, which we use to learn about our partners so that we are able to propose the right way through all our activities. So what we do here, we do a maturity assessment of open innovation in companies. This is what we offer. So basically we go there, we check what they have, what they do not have, what they should have, how they are doing things, what could be done better, and so on and so on. You will get out of that kind of a level where you are in open innovation. And we will propose a number of activities you should do or change to make it better. Just to really to get all the benefits out of that. And from all the activities, we tell you what you should do or could do. With some of them, we will be able even to help you. Not with everything, because there will also be activities where which we tell you, which you can only handle internally, but there will be plenty of activities where we even could support you. And that support can be based on knowledge, trainings of a variety of topics, mainly market-related, commercialization, IPs. Then there is also, for example, business intelligence, as you will learn in some minutes from Ryan. Then we have, as you saw before, a big part with fundings. The calls I showed you, this is what we have at the moment. There might be other opportunities as well. So we invent then again and again new call opportunities. And third, we offer also tailor-made activities. For example, if you say you have a certain challenge and you would like to get ideas or solutions from outside your company, then this is also something we can do for you, where we can help you. So there are these main 3 pillars where we can support you. And if you have any question now, later on, then we will be happy to hear from you.
Okay, maybe I would ask, how can the companies apply for this innovation assessment? Is it free, or is it also via call, or what are the conditions, or how?
No, there are no conditions for the moment. It is for free. This might change in the future, I don't know. But for the moment, it is for free, because it is for us the opportunity to see what our partners do, what our partners need, and to help them. I mean, our main driver for EIT Manufacturing, or EIT in general, is to support companies in Europe. So this is our main initiative behind. And this gives us the possibility to see a little bit more what they need and how we can help. And perhaps there are activities where we directly can help them in this transformation. So just to get in contact with us, and that's it. There is no formal way. Okay, super. So directly with you, or is there any? Yeah, you are the responsible person to contact. Okay, thank you very much. Good. And maybe for the calls, are there any conditions? So do the companies or the parties that want to apply for the call also be somehow the member of EIT? Are there any member fees or these conditions, or really anybody? This depends really on the call. I would have had many more points to put on each of the slides. I did not do that because then you will not see anything anymore. So there you would really need to go into the guidelines. Some of them really require a membership. You do not have the membership up front. You will become automatically member the moment you get a project approved. So let's say you are not a member, you have nothing to do with us. You join in a project, in a proposal. The project is, the proposal is evaluated, and finally our people say, yes, we give you a funding. The project then would start with, let's say, 1st of January. So then with 1st of January, the organization also would become a member. So this goes then hand in hand. There is also a membership fee involved, which depends on the size of the company. And there are then different mechanisms behind, and you can choose between different kinds of memberships. And
Okay, thank you. Clear. This was important that just after the project is accepted and is approved.
So there is no payment, no fee, nothing like that up front. Only after that.
Okay. Any other questions? If not, then I would ask Ryan to tell us something about the business intelligence. If we have him here.
Yeah, we can hear you. Cannot hear you.
Ryan, you're still muted. So if you say something, we cannot hear you.
Maybe try to leave the call and come back.
Did we get a new update of Teams? Because this is normally happening when we get a new update, and then for a while we have these technical issues.
I don't know. We have it via our member company, so that they are in charge is via their conto, so can be. But up to now we didn't have any such problems. And I see that he's unmuted. Or he was, but we couldn't hear him. Ryan, can you hear us? Or try
say
to
something.
Say something.
No, it's not working.
Do you use a headset or something like that, or the microphone of the computer?
Should I continue in the meanwhile, or
Maybe
it's
that
better,
would
right?
be okay.
Yes.
And then we can switch, and if he succeeds, then we can shift.
You cannot.
Now we
it
can.
works.
Perfect. Okay. I don't know why. Okay.
This was the
Wait a
threatening of David.
Apparently, yeah.
Yes, I wanted to steal your prominent spot in the middle of the meeting, so.
Perfect.
Okay, so
Okay.
please, it's your turn. Have your time.
Okay, can you see the screen?
Yes, fine.
Okay, perfect. So hi everyone, the name is Ryan, and today I will give you a presentation about EIT manufacturing services, especially in market research, competitive intelligence, and so on. So just a bit background about me. I'm an analyst at EIT Manufacturing, so I'm looking at the latest industry trends in the EU manufacturing industry. So it can be aerospace and defense, automotive, shipbuilding, semiconductors, and so on. So first of all, you have heard a lot of intelligence types like market intelligence, business intelligence, sales intelligence, and so on. So basically, what I will talk to you today is as we see, the intelligence itself. So the art of competitive intelligence. So basically, imagine you're some kind of a detective, and instead of solving crimes, you're trying to find cues for getting your, I would say, the knowledge for getting up to your competitors' landscape, trying to figure out how they think, and so on, to have some kind of foreknowledge before launching a product, services, and so on. So, and for instance, a few case studies of intelligence. So first of all, as you all know, the AI battle versus Microsoft and Google. Basically, Microsoft last year they integrated OpenAI services into their products. So can be Bing, Microsoft Office, the full package, for instance. So basically, they worked on this. They did amazing market research, intelligence itself, and basically they did quite a nice choice because the valuation of OpenAI right now 160 billions. So largest, and just last month it was like around about 6 billion. So basically the largest round of the history. So well played for them. Then you can have a look at NVIDIA, for instance, valued at 3 trillion. Basically, before 99% of all their competitors, they became the leader in AI chip, controlling more than 80% of the share. So they completely create a monopoly of it. And all the researchers, the industrials are using their chips now compared to Intel. And lastly, BYD versus Tesla. BYD basically the Chinese equivalent of Tesla. So they try to analyze their supply chain about BYD. How could they be so strong in that? The affordable electric cars. So basically, to counteract it, they studied the market and so on. They also did a location analysis study. And now you have to know that Tesla did a relocation in Shanghai called the Giga Shanghai, and basically it's produced around half of the overall Tesla car worldwide. So also nice intelligence back then. Just to give you a short definition of it, and for you to understand it, what we are doing is different from desk research. So basically, this is my definition of competitive intelligence. So this is just a systematic and ethical process of gathering, analyzing, interpreting information about the competitors, the market trends, and industry dynamics to inform and support strategic business decisions. Because if you don't have a request, if you don't have a needs, this is pointless. You should always see with your manager what's the purpose of it. And this is different from desk research, which is just analyzing the data that is already there, in the web and so on. So I would say, for you to understand, desk research can be a tool, like many others, and competitive intelligence is more like an art, an holistic view of it. And why you should be careful and why you should use it, because as you know, we are now in the hyper-competitive world. So staying ahead, it requires to seeing the big picture and making the sense of trends. Data is really becoming humongous. By next year, you will have around 200 zettabytes of data in terms of storage per year. Zeta means 21 zero. So that's a lot. That's really humongous. And around 30 billion IoT devices that will be connected. For instance, if you type into Google artificial intelligence, you will have 1 billion results. Good luck with that if you are not specialized with data. So mainly, to conclude, without intelligence, this making the right business decisions is just left to chance. You need people specialized into that to make real business case. And just for you to get it, the goals and process of what we are doing. So basically the goals, these generate valuable insights. I'm not talking about data or information. I'm really talking about intelligence and actionable insights. So basically at the beginning, you should see it as a funnel approach. When you have gazillions of data, so really broad overview at the beginning in terms of scope. So first of all, you identify the needs. Because without needs, no need to do this market research. Then you are trying to narrow it down a bit to data collection. So you will have again so many data to collect. And then you go even more deeper into the granularity when you process the data and then you analyze it. And then the goal is really to deliver it after fine-tuning it, the data to information and intelligence to provide insights to your manager, any decision maker. That's really the goal of it. And just for you to understand, this is not, as I said, this is an art. This is not just competitor intelligence. This is not also only for global companies, large companies, but also for SMEs. We should not forget, especially in Europe, that SMEs are the cornerstone of our economy. We have like 30 million enterprises, 100 million people. We should not look down at it. Without the SMEs, we don't have an economy in Europe. So we should foster the best practices of it. And also in terms of ethics, this is open sources. This is not industrial espionage and so on. And also, as I said, this is intelligence, not information, not data. And it should be delivered right in time to the right person, to enable the right business decision. And what said, real nice quote that I loved from Sun Tzu: what enables the wise sovereign and the good general to strike and conquer and achieve things beyond the reach of ordinary men is foreknowledge. Basically, it was like 2,500 years ago, but still valuable for all of our business decisions. Again, I would like to talk about the beliefs. So the pitfalls of intelligence and leads to intelligent failures. So basically 3 things: the false beliefs, you underestimate the competitors; the art of complacency, basically the feeling of self-satisfaction, self-contentment, but while ignoring that you're in a danger, in trouble, or inadequate intelligence collection. You have plenty when you have a look at the history of the businesses. For instance, Alcatel, Nokia, Kodak, BlackBerry, and so on. Especially for BlackBerry, they were a leader, millions of users, and they lost their grip due to complacency. Basically, they ignored the rise of apps, touch screens, and so on, and Apple and Android took the lead. So it should be used as a stark reminder that innovation, waits for no one. And basically the complacency can turn success into obsolescence. So you have to stay ahead of your competitors. Again, for you to really grasp the essence of it, just a small segmentation about data, information, and intelligence. Basically, data, unconnected pieces of information. Like you are having all the puzzle pieces, but you have no picture. That's nice to know, but what's the point? Then you go to the information. So this is an increased knowledge from understanding the data relationships, but this is still not good enough. It's like you have a favorite recipe, but and you have just the secret ingredient, but you still don't know how to cook it. Good, but not enough. And then the intelligence, basically you have organized information with clear implications and impact. It's like you are getting the game plan before the big match. It shows you exactly what moves to make. So then you're getting way more ahead from the competitors. So, and basically at EIT Manufacturing, we are offering several types of studies. Can be market studies, industry, technology, competitive, and location analysis studies. But oftenly, when I did with many customers, this is always a match of different types of studies. When you have a look of competitive study, you also have to look a bit of the technology of the competitors. Can be anything, but each time you are trying to merge the information, and is each time a fine tuning. This is not what I want. This is what the customer needs each time. And basically, we are working on several industries. Several subsectors within the manufacturing industry. These are the trending ones, but there is a tons. AI, for instance, last time I did a report about generative AI in manufacturing, or wind turbine production worldwide and specifically in Europe also. So plenty of topics to really have a grasp of it, because nobody will read the 300 pages report. This is pointless. You will spend a few weeks to read it thoroughly. So decision makers don't need it. Just for you to have a look about what I did the last, what we did as the team. We did like a few studies. It was about polymers in aerospace and defense, shipbuilding, also generative AI in manufacturing, semiconductors. Last one that I'm working on, robotic and automation into the steel industry, all the spinning, welding, and so on. And basically what's the feedback of our customers, this is, okay, maybe we could have done that in, instead of, 2 months, maybe 6 months or 1 year, because each time they don't have a dedicated person for doing that. They just have a person, maybe a researcher, who takes a corner of the table and doing that during a lunch break. It doesn't work. You have to do through many iterations, many analysis, and this is like, you have to constantly think about it, the mindset of an analyst and trying to deliver insights. So way better when you have a dedicated team for doing that. Also, this is basically this is our process. When you have at the beginning, for me, this is maybe other consultants will not agree with me, but this is my way of conduct, I would say. This is the first, the main point is discovering your needs. I'm calling it a front-end loading, when I'm spending maybe a lot of time for, trying to define the best scope and having many milestones between, because otherwise you will spend, 2 weeks of hard working, full time, and at the end the customer will say, but no, I didn't agree with that. You are losing both time, and this is not needed. So basically, a lot of time during discovering the needs. This is the phase of ideation, then data collection, processing, analyzing, and sharing the intelligence. with many milestones to each time fine-tuning the scope. And at the end, sharing the intelligence is also a key point, because intelligence that is not disseminated is purely pointless. This is useless. And a lot of people are forgetting that, especially at the internal level. Yeah, just to show you just a sample, it was composites, especially carbon fibers, glass fibers in aerospace and defense, because basically Airbus, Boeing, for instance, the Boeing 787 use 50% of carbon fibers into fuselage and so on. So quite interesting to know, the top players. And each time, as I said, I'm not doing 300 pages. It is, maybe if you want it, I can do that, but I will again synthesize it to the fullest to just give you actionable insights. And what I've implemented also, a report is nice. It is cool, it is amazing, but the step forwards that I'm doing each time, it is like a presentation. Can be really depending on the customer needs, but usually this is 20-30 minutes for the whole consumption of partners or other customers to come and say, okay, we are listening for the first time in terms of really executive summary presentation. And then we are having a Q&A. And this thing leads to new generation of ideas. And also, I don't know, for instance, if it is like a one month report, I cannot do every facet of this industry. In AI, I cannot go fully details if it is 2 weeks or one month. We should do, for instance, if the customers agrees, a next level report, with pinpoint highlighting some things. So it is always nice sharing of ideas between people. And now, this is just something that I did, I would say, so for fun. I studied a bit the automotive industry in Slovakia. So I just wanted to show you this. So basically, imagine a nation where every person could roll a car off the production line. Basically, welcome to Slovakia. You guys are the first world producer in terms of car per capita. This is mind-blowing. I didn't know that before doing this study. And in just 30 years, you have become like an automotive powerhouse, like really home to big leaders like Volkswagen, Kia, Jaguar, Stellantis, and so on. You have, automotive sector, it is around half of your industrial outputs, 10% of GDP, 260,000 people, absolutely huge. So has a future in terms of mobility, on the smart mobility. Then, the road to smart mobility. Automotive is great, amazing, but it needs to meet microelectronics. Because did you know that a modern car possesses around between 1 and 3,000 chips embedded? So we are far away from the IC, the combustion engines. That's still producing for sure, and we still need that, but this is not the current trend. So we should, because in the car you have advanced driver assistance systems, you have powertrains, telematics, and so on. And the semiconductors, I don't know if you know it, but it is the third world most traded product between cars and refined petroleum. So definitely a trend to have a look at it, especially as the first world producer in terms of car. Slovakia, would gain a lot to strengthen in its place into a 600 billions industry. Not bad, eh? So basically, from chips to car, Slovakia can fuel, just to fuel the future of mobility, one semiconductor at a time. And then just a few, I would say, few insights in terms of collaboration, because what do semiconductors and Slovakia have in common? A partnership, a 4-year partnership with Taiwan. Not so long ago. So basically 4 years to create a semiconductor hub with new talents, because you guys will be able to use manufacturers like TSMCs, not bad as well, as a lot of people are struggling with that, as they are producing 2 nanometers, 3 nanometers chips. So definitely tremendous assets to use in terms of knowledge transfer and so on, to build a new generation of chips and cars. And then, another investment from Hyundai Mobis in EV manufacturing in the Novaki plant and Žilina facility. So basically they committed 250 million to Slovakia. And the goal is to produce 300,000 power electric systems annually by 2025. So definitely tomorrow. Because the goal, you all know that there is a declining EV sales in Europe, fluctuation of prices, inflations, and so on. So the goal is really to offset the declining EV sales, with the latest trends with EU Green Deal, sustainability, green manufacturing, and so on. So Slovakia could definitely have a saying into that. And finally, just the strategic outlook. As I've seen in the investments from the global leaders, especially from Asia, who are a huge asset in terms of production. Talent development, cross-industry collaborations, all the concept of open factories and so on. Strategic positioning. We should not forget that, Slovakia is really central, at really a central position in Europe. And a lot of investment are coming from, maybe not from the Western Europe, but from China, China, South Korea, Japan, and so on, Taiwan, and also diversifications. So it has a big, I would say, a big opportunity to play with. So if you have any questions, we can have a meeting, quite open for that. And anytime if you have questions, we can have a meeting to really develop your goals, your needs, and so on. So thank you for your attention. And so this is over.
Super, thank you, Ryan.
Welcome.
Does anybody have a question? If not, then I would ask, so how in practice does the cooperation look like? So the company, for example, some of our members would like to contact you and to do such an analysis. They just simply contact you, you are then coming. Is this visits on site, or you work with them also online, or how you mentioned there that it takes 3-4 weeks until this analysis or the report then is done. So how does the process look like more in detail, or what they have to do to get into the cooperation with you, or to get to?
So first, I will also give the presentation, so you have my LinkedIn, mail, and so on. So just a mail to the one thing that is way better is to first, if you can send me some, I would say some needs, some quotes and so on, just for me to have each time an early research, because if you don't know the topic, that's a bit bad. You should always have an early research to be able to also guide the customer, because the customer doesn't know everything as well as as us. So first an initial meeting, mail meeting. The meeting can be both, hybrid or whatever, because I have customers around Europe, so it depends. Austrian customers, they come to our office, or Slovakia, this is not so far away, but we can have a meeting online, and maybe for the final presentation you can come, and easy as that, not difficult.
And how about the price? It's paid service, I guess. Are there the conditions on EIT website somewhere too? Because if they will ask me, how much does it cost?
I would say it is completely depending on the request itself, because for instance, in this intelligence you have like tactical and strategic intelligence. So basically, tactical, it is more I have to know a thing in 1 week or 2 weeks. And the strategic, this is more on a long term. So it depends if I have to spend 2 working days or 2 months working days.
So then there is a
more
price
fine-tuning.
per day or per
Yes. Per
person
man
or
hours,
per
basically, yes.
manpower.
So
Okay.
it is a fine-tuning. It is really depending on the customer, because it's completely different. It is completely different. It is each time different. Fine-tuning.
Okay. And do you do also some seminars or something to explain to the companies why this business intelligence, why it is indeed important to know the competitors and so on? Because I have the feeling that here in Slovakia, there is needed also a little bit this pre-knowledge, that why we should take care, why we should analyze it, why we should have this bigger picture. Because as you nicely said, quite a lot of our companies, they are still on this level that the new projects are coming, that they were not pushed to look for the new markets, new possibilities. It was a good wave, I would say, but now this is dramatically changing, and I have the feeling that not all of them really are skilled enough to know how to work with this. As you said, that there is not a person, that somebody just nearby is responsible for this. So do you do also something like I don't know, seminars, or to explain why this is the highest time to work more strategically, more with the data, because everybody's collecting now the data. AI is the miracle, I guess, the feeling, but without the results. or successful results up to now. So maybe something like that. I don't know if you have such a program that maybe more explain this procedure, how to work, why it is important, because then they understand much more why to invest into that, why to pay such an expert, why to find the help of the experts that can help them with the business, and why this is important right now.
But as you say, I fully agree with you, and I would say this is not just entails to Slovakia, because I have customers on the European level. Basically, US and China are way better at this, because this is, I would say, learning from the best practices of war. Basically, this is what it is, intelligence. And in Europe, we have difficulties to find this. So this is completely feasible to implement. I'm doing that usually in specific to some customers. This I'm explaining. I'm also giving lectures for explaining to students what is competitive intelligence, what is the meaning of that, because also my students were also in some kind of apprenticeship, so they were also in companies, so it was really valuable for them to get a grasp of it. And basically, when I ask, do you know it? No one had a clue about it. And I was like, they are all working in the company, so this should be an awareness, really, some kind of a culture of spreading this, because as I said, intelligence that is not disseminated is pointless. This is useless. If it is for no one, just for yourself, in a selfish way, this is inefficient. So we could definitely,
maybe also
think
with
about it,
Lubka, maybe we could organize something even on site, such a seminar, because I think that it would be really valuable.
Very happy to organize something.
Super. So we will then get in touch and arrange. Super. So thank you very much. If not,
you're welcome.
Anybody has any other questions, so then we can move to David. Kamesh, please. Now it's your turn.
Yes, I hope everybody is still here. So I will try to keep it a bit shorter. Do you see my screen now?
Yes.
Great. So my topic today is the ESG, in concrete ESG reporting. Maybe to give you a bit of a background how we came to this idea to develop actually services for companies, and especially for medium-sized companies that are related to ESG. As Rayan and Gerhard actually said, our main challenge is always to actually understand the company's needs. So what Gerhard was presenting, the open innovation assessment is actually about understanding the company and understanding what kind of services we can further provide them, or what kind of financing we can further provide them, to have really a tailor-made approach. And the same applies for Rayan's service, for the business intelligence service, where he really works together with the company to identify what kind of challenges they are facing and to find valuable information and valuable strategic measures for them to move into the future. And this service is kind of a combination of both. And it's actually coming from the ESRS mandatory reporting directive, which is coming from the European Union, and which is based on the whole ESG approach, which probably most of you know, but I will give you now a brief overview of what ESG actually is, what the potential monetary value behind it is for manufacturing medium-sized companies, but also small companies, what the strategic value of it is, and how we can support you in reducing the time and effort needed to fulfill these reporting norms, and also to support you in defining future strategy based on the results you get on out of the ESG reporting. So what is ESG? Basically, it's environment. It has three layers. So the one is environmental, the second is social, and the third is the governance one. And the idea, especially for companies that are operating in the manufacturing sector, is to stop looking only at one aspect of the company, which is the revenues or the and the margin, and actually the profit that it is making, but to see the company in a holistic way and see, on the one hand, the impact the company has on the environment, on the social aspects, and how it is complaining to legal, regulatory, and corporate governance topics. This European approach actually is to force, or to start a directive which is forcing companies to have some standards for reporting all of these topics. So far, until 2024, each and every larger company had a kind of a sustainability report to show how sustainable they are. But what was striking in that many of those companies did basically what we call greenwashing. So they said, okay, our CO2 is 200 tons emissions in a year, and that's why we buy 20 trees somewhere in Amazonas, we plant them, and that's fine, we are at zero. And because there was no way of having comparable data across European companies, the European Union said, we will define this standard, which is forcing companies to do reports that are standardized. That means the companies are then, or for instance, the investor or the banks are able to compare different companies and to see which one is the one that is actually sustainable and which one is less sustainable. But ESRS, you can see it in a pragmatic way, that it's a regulation. On the other hand, for each and every company, it's a pathway to a sustainable future. And for many of you, probably it will be something where you are forced from the value chain to do it, but you should see the benefits out of it, because it gives you the opportunity to collect many informations about your business and improve for the future. So I think, and our approach is to see not only the bad side, which is, okay, I have some administrative task which I have to fulfill because my customers needs this data, or my or the regulator needs this data, but because I'm collecting the data, I should build a strategy that is using it. So in detail, how it looks like, basically the ESRS regulation from the European Union is divided exactly into the three layers of ESG, so environmental, social, and governance, and each of these layers has different sub-layers which are basically covering different topics that are relevant for each of these layers. So for instance, in environment, you have the topic of climate change, of course, and what is very important here, it's not only about how you as a company do impact the climate change, but also about how the climate change, so how the future changes we will face or we are actually already facing in our climate will influence your business. Then of course there are topics like pollution, which is about waste management, and this offers, for instance, you as a company the opportunity to see where you have potential to reduce your waste, and it's then connected also to resource use and circular economy, so how to actually reduce the waste and how to upcycle or recycle the waste that you are producing. I think marine resources will be less relevant for Slovakia, but for instance, if you think about heat waves which you face and droughts, so there's also regions in Slovakia that are affected by lack of water, and that will be affected probably more and more in the upcoming decades. So it's, as I said, something which also has to do with risk management and with planning your future operations. The social layer is a bit difficult to understand for companies, because as soon as you say environment, most of the people already see CO2 and resource use and circular economy, but social is still something which is, let's say, a bit abstract for most of the companies. Here it's about, on the one hand, what is your impact on your actual workforce. So this provides valuable data, for instance, for your company when it comes to is my workforce actually, how is my workforce doing? Do I provide them enough opportunities to grow, opportunities to train? And especially now in these days, this is a huge opportunity for you as a company to showcase that you are a good employer and to increase your potential in hiring new talents into your company. If you really analyze this data and try to improve and do some actions to be a better employer. On the other hand, it's also covering topics that are, let's say, impacting your customers and end users, which means looking into the sustainability of the end product for which you are producing, but also about the affected communities, which is again something what is not really important in our region, but as soon as you are operating, for instance, China, we saw it with Volkswagen, with the issue with the indigenous Uruguay people that were basically locked in the production and were doing slavery work there. So that is something which comes in here. And overall, the governance says basically what is your management strategy and how is all this ESG implemented into your company management system. This sounds quite compact, but if you go through the ESRS directive, you see that the data points amount which you have to collect as a large company, so that means this is if we talk Volkswagen, Skoda and so on, it's about 1084 data points you have to collect. This can be very overwhelming, and the large companies are actually having departments that are working very intensively to do the report this year, because this year, or actually for 2024, because 2024 is the first year where the large company has to collect the data and do the official report. So the European Union saw that the complexity of doing that is very high, and that's why they came up with a special solution, let's say, for SMEs. So it's called Light SME, and they reduced the number of data points which you have to report to around 36% of the data points. This is still something which is pretty overwhelming for a medium-sized company, and basically that's why we decided to develop a service that supports medium-sized companies in collecting the data easily by using newest technologies, and also as the next step to analyze the data and to make a strategic decision based on this. So the actual question, which probably many people, and as I'm half Czech, I know how Czech and Slovak companies usually react to those kind of norms. So why should I care? Our approach is very pragmatic, so we really list here the things that we see where you can benefit out of and where you can actually get some financial value out of it. The first one, of course, is the regulatory compliance. So many SMEs, for many SMEs, this will get mandatory, especially because they are a part of a larger supply chain. So more and more of your customers will be asking medium-sized companies in the future about where do you have your report, what is your reported data, please share it with me because we need it for our reporting. On the other hand, there is also, let's say, the mid-cap segment, which is above a certain revenue and number of employees, and those companies will also get forced by law to have this kind of reporting and to have it available on their web page. The second part of the regulatory compliance is that we already see some national laws in place, for instance in France, where the national government decided to make these kind of reports mandatory to be able to participate in public tenders. So as soon as you want to participate in a public tender, you need this kind of reporting. So that's very pragmatic, because if your customers are asking for that, you basically need to provide that. Otherwise, you will lose them to other companies that already do this reporting. The second aspect is the competitive advantage, and this is especially about, again, large corporations are demanding it, but especially about you can identify where is the potential to reduce my inefficiencies. So where do I lose materials, where do I lose my employees because of how my company structures, where do I produce too much, or where have I potential to save energy for instance, heating or for electricity. The next point is risk management. So as I said, we are living in a changing environment, and the analysis, as we saw it so far, doing it for several companies, is that we identified risks that they will be facing with their business model in the future because of the changing environment. So for instance, it's not just about counting CO2, but we discussed with a tier 1 supplier from the automotive sector in Slovakia actually, and we did, let's say, our first workshop with them, and we identified that there will be a big struggle with their business model because they're heavily dependent on the combustion engine, and what we now are supporting them with is to finding alternative possibilities and investments to spread the risk of the company to different markets, so they are not so heavily dependent on their current customers. And of course, the next topic is stakeholder trust. So especially if you think about your access to potential financing from banks and to subsidies that are publicly distributed, the banks will be forced, starting from next year, to have a certain percentage of green assets, which means if you can provide them with data that your financing target is green and is ESG compliant, then you will get better conditions than if you are applying for with a random, like without any databases and with a random financing goal. Maybe just in a small overview. So for the SME part, the reporting has 3 modules. The one is the basic module, which everyone has to do. The other is policies, actions, and targets, which means in that module you have to say how you are planning to improve your ESG in reported data in the future. And the business partner module is especially important for what I was describing before. So it's for the banks where you are asking for loans, or for potential customers from the public sector, but also private customers. And now, finally, how do we support companies to be ESG reporting ready? We call this service ESG Starter. Basically, the idea is to go to your company and to pilot the report generation. So we have a set of tools that are automatizing part of the reporting. So for instance, we can support you in counting CO2 with satellite technologies. We can support you in assessing the risk that you are getting from the environmental change in the future and your impact on the environment based on scientific data from one platform. And we guide you basically by taking you by your hand and going with you together through the process of doing this pilot report generation. And the idea is we support you in the beginning during the first couple of months, and then after that we support you in establishing reporting standards for the future. So in the future you are able to do it on your own as a company, because you have established processes and you have defined people which are the one in charge of collecting the data, and the persons that are then in charge of bringing the data together and giving it into the template of the report. We will also provide you with some suggestions of what kind of strategic decision you can make to improve your CSRD reported data in the future. And we also, at the beginning, actually assess the readiness of your company when it comes to ESG as general, and we basically show you the next steps which are necessary to come to the status you need to be in to be able to report. How does that work in concrete? So we are currently having already one company in Slovakia, and what we do is basically we start with an initial consultation, which is for free. There we talk to the company representatives and explain them how the whole journey with us will work, and what kind of activities we expect from their side to be successful at the end of the project. Then we say, okay, is it a go or not? Does the company want to collaborate with us or not? If yes, then we go to the second part, which is a 3-hour workshop where we come to the company side and where we ideally talk to top management, mid-management level, and also from someone from the shop floor. And we try to get the understanding of what is the current status and how we will proceed. And this is also for free. Based on this workshop, we then deliver a, let's say, report where we show you where is your potential to improve. We already give you some proposals from technologies which you could use to improve in ESG, but this is for free, and that's just basically getting to know each other. At that point of time, we also generate a tailor-made offer, which is based on the size of the company and number of production facilities you have. And then if you sign the offer, we start with the actual creation of the reports. So, and that is basically, we pilot different tools, which I was explaining before, that enable you to automatize your reporting. Then we do the evaluation and do the recommendation for the usage of the tools in the future. We generate the pilot report with you, working together with your employees and or your colleagues. And then we give you a future roadmap of how to do the reporting in the future and how to improve and learn from the reported data. So that's basically the roadmap for you as a customer. And now I'm coming to a conclusion. So why choosing us? First, the streamlined framework that we generated and the tool set we have reduces the effort significantly if you compare it to in-house methods. So we were really talking to our pilot customers, and they said they would need much more time, and that means also money, because they have no knowledge in-house, and because we are defining the processes for them and we are showing them which tools they should use, we are saving them a lot of time and money. The second topic is that for us the ESG reporting is just the beginning. So we have then experts that will collaborate with your team to understand the data and develop actually innovation strategies. So if we see, for instance, that you have a potential for reducing overproduction by using machine vision, we can connect you to potential suppliers or partners which can develop a solution and increase your efficiency. And also the last but not least is that the beginning or the start of the whole service is risk-free. So as you saw before, the initial phase is free. You can see if you like working with us together. You can see if what we provide and the plan makes sense. And after you say yes, that's the point where we talk about costs, which, as I said, are then dependent of the size of the company and number of facilities you have. But up till then, it's for free, so you get the chance to learn us and to see who you're going to talk to and if we are a trustful partner. That's from my side. Same as my colleagues, here is my contact data. So if you're interested in making an initial workshop with us, having some details about the service, just send me an email or give me a call. Also now, if you have any questions, I think we have still some time, just ask me and I will try to answer them. Thank you so much.
Okay, I thank you, David. Interesting. Does anybody have a question? No, so maybe I will ask again. So you said that you have already one Slovak company that you started to work with them. It's a big one, or you can't name it if it's not
so
accidentally one.
I cannot name it. It's
but sector, at least the sector.
Yeah, it's automotive sector. So Ryan's business intelligence was true. It's the easiest company profile we could find in Slovakia. It's actually someone who is producing carriers for BMW. So it's a medium-sized company, which is a automotive supplier. Yeah. We have the advantage of having a Czechoslovak team as well within EIT Manufacturing. So of course there is the opportunity to do everything in Czechoslovak, let's say.
Okay, and how many capacities you have of such a consultant? So how many companies, in principle, when I would now come, that I have, I don't know how many companies that want to work with you, how is it somehow limited, or do you have some plan how many companies you want to work with, or?
So for this year, we are of course full because there is only 1 month leaving. It also makes sense actually to start in January. We are building our capacity for that. The plan is to be able to serve up to 15 mid-caps, so larger medium-sized companies next year. But if there is a large need, we are actually working on, let's say, standardizing a lot of those processes. So if there is a large need, we can always adapt and get some new resources for it. So right now, the team working on that is basically 3 people. We will get another 2 beginning of next year. So there is still some room for more companies. And it's a lot about automation. So basically, we can scale it when there is large need from Slovakia, for instance.
And how do you promote your services here in Slovakia? Do you have already some partner, or how you plan to get to know about you? Just via this channel, or is there anything planned also with this with Lubka and so on? Because I noticed that there is already some of the consulting companies, and now that their number is growing on the market, and it's also for us not easy to check which one is better, not better. So the competition will start, and I would also like to recommend to my members the best service that is possible. So this could be interesting also.
So actually the first project we did was supported by the European Digital Innovation Hub in Bratislava, which is
so with
yes, where the company is involved in, because we are really so in the first project in Slovakia we were piloting it, and we were really looking into which digital tools are the ones that really work, because as you said, the issue is now it's a growing market, and you have a lot of many of companies that claim that they can do that, but then if you start working with them, you see that they were overselling themselves a bit, so they cannot deliver at the end.
That's it. Yeah, exactly.
So that's why we started with a pilot, and we focused especially on the technological companies that work as suppliers in the project, and we are selecting the ones that actually can deliver value and which make sense. So that's why we waited with the actual marketing until we have the service package ready. Now we are concluding the pilot projects by the end of the year, and starting next year we will start with a bigger marketing campaign, and having a website and having a one-pager where the information is let's say compact, but still this is one of the channels which we are using. So if you have some partners which would be interested, this definitely makes sense. Maybe what is important to say, I was the whole time I was talking about small, medium-sized enterprises. That's really where our focus is at. So we are not aiming to do that for large companies, because this can be covered by, McKinsey and consultants. We really target on medium-sized companies, mainly in the manufacturing sector, because our solution aims to be rather pragmatic and result-oriented, and really oriented on companies which can be managed with some digital tools that are, let's say, sector agnostic. So as soon as you have more than 300 employees or 250, it gets too complicated to be covered by us. I'm very honest there. We really focus on smaller companies, and I think it's an asset, because if somebody claims that he or she can do everything, that's basically not the case, because it's a different world, let's say. And that's also why for us it's very important to be in the exchange with the customer, do the workshop, so they know us and we know them, and it's a partnership. It's not just like, okay, here is the solution, but we also want them to support in the future and offer additional financing opportunities and also improvement opportunities.
So the more complex service, that sounds good. And the tools that you are, you said there was in a graph that you recommend also the tools, for collecting data. These are your special design tools, or some open sources, or whatever. Is it that they have to buy some special tools, or is it something that they can integrate, or or how it is?
Yeah. So basically, after we have this workshop, we understand what the needs are, and then we make a tailor-made offer for the company. And this offer can be, okay, if we see that the complexity is very low and that you are able to do it in-house, we will just make a recommendation of the tools and say, look, we can work with you on the data, but you don't really need our guidance, because if you use these tools, you will be able to do it on your own. That will be not often the case, because what we saw right now, usually, let's say the company doesn't have the flow of information which it needs to bring the data to one department or to one person which is able to conclude it. So especially in the beginning, usually there is a guidance needed. But we can also, just based on the workshop, do some tools recommendations. We are still evaluating some of the tools, but basically the tools that we have are saving a lot of time because those are the most complex tasks. So one of them is CO2 measurement. We have a company which can do it with a satellite technology, which reduces the time which you need to go through all of the invoices you have, go through all of the kilometers you have on your company cars, and you can really have it by one click. Another part is that there are some topics about climate risks and biodiversity. There we have also a tool which basically asks 50 to 60 of these data points. They can provide you the answers on them within a couple of hours. So it reduces much of research and so on. We can also have a specific session about talking more in detail with the specific tools. We are also presenting them individually, but I would do that once we did the evaluation, because as I said, we are now evaluating how precise they are. So beginning next year, we can already see which one are really delivering what they promised.
Okay, so you will recommend also the concrete suppliers of these tools with some references.
It's part of the service, yeah. So if a company comes to us right now, we will do this initial workshop, and then, I mean, it's end of November. Then we will, mid of January, we will make them a tailor-made offer, tailor-made suggestions of tools, and we support them in integrating the reporting.
Okay, sounds good. Okay, I don't know if we have some questions. If not, then I would like to thank you, all of the speakers, for very interesting and I guess valuable information and presentation. I will for sure forward this to our members. Also, as I said, the recording will be shared public on our channel, and we will make also some marketing, some posts on the social networks that also anybody can reach to that. And I would be very happy if we could then be further on in contact, in touch with Lubka, and to start the cooperation, because we have 75 members out of that 50 companies, quite a lot of them involved in automotive. So Ryan, your target group, and really, I see, especially in this manufacturing companies, that they are struggling with all these topics that we were discussing, with the data, with some insights. So what will be on? So the time now is very changing and very not really clear. So every recommendation or every knowledge that could be shared would be just benefit, I guess, for our companies, and then also for the whole market. I guess that we can help each other a lot. So thank you once again for your time, and I would be happy even to see you also in the private when there will be some tour, some study tour. I will definitely take part, and I'm sure that also quite a lot of our members will be interested. Okay,
we are looking forward to all the follow-up activities.
Thank you.
Thank you for the opportunity.
Okay, thank you very much.
Have a lovely day.
Thank you.
Have a nice day, and we stay in touch.
Thank you. Bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye.